Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast. Today we're drinking sparkling water again. I don't know what's gotten into me. The sun comes out and I instantly want sparkling water. I don't know why. I associate it with the sun. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about, over the last few months, I've picked up a few new little kind of habits or routines that I've been really into recently. You know, I feel like I'm always kind of trying different little like self-care, wellness, you know, routines and tricks and habits, and like a lot of them don't stick, and a lot of them, they're fun for like a week and then I just don't want to do it anymore. It doesn't really fit my life, you know, and that's fine. You know, not everything needs to stick, but there are some that I would say since the new year, in the last like handful of months, there are a few that have really stuck and that I've kind of built into my habits and routines, and I thought I'd share them today because why not, you know? Anything that's kind of improving my overall wellness, my happiness, my health, whatever. Like, I feel like wellness is just an umbrella term for anything that makes you feel better, basically. You know, maybe it'll give you some new things to try. I am aware that wellness content is kind of a double-edged sword in the way that it is rooted in a positive thing, you know, wellness, self-care, things like that. Like, they're meant to be a positive thing, but there's so fucking much of it on the internet. The internet is saturated with wellness content, and I feel like a lot of it is now made just to kind of make people's lives look better and make them look like they're living this like perfect holistic wellness 5 a.m. life. And it's just like, you know, I feel like a lot of wellness content kind of makes you feel more shit about your life. So hopefully I'm on the other side of that double-edged sword, and this is just kind of going to give you some ideas, because that's all I'm trying to do. Okay, so the first one, these are in no order, by the way. I started making my own like homemade juices and ginger shots and stuff at the start of this year. And honestly, I love it. I'll chop up things like ginger, apples, carrots, celery, basically whatever I have in my house. I kind of don't buy anything specifically for it other than ginger, and you know, obviously blend it, make a juice or ginger shot or whatever, and I'll make like a big jug of it and I'll put it in my fridge, so I've got it throughout the week. You know, I don't just make one juice, I make a bulk amount of juice. And you know, sometimes I'll have a glass of that in the morning instead of my coffee, or like before my coffee. And I think something about it just feels kind of like detoxing, having that be kind of like the first thing that I put in my body. I feel like it feels like it's like just cleansing everything. I don't know, I love ginger and like health shots and stuff. I've talked about it before. The ginger shots are like my favorite thing ever. I absolutely love them, and they're so expensive and so small that I had to kind of start making them if I wanted to drink them that often. And I think as well, it's the fact that I obviously know everything that's gone into it. Like, it's nothing artificial, there's no like additives and shit. It's just like natural. It has natural benefits. It just feels like something really clean to have in my body. And it's like, I also just love the process of making them. I personally love like slowing things down and making them myself. Sometimes even if like I could buy it for £1, I'm like, or I could make it and that could be fun. You know, I don't know, I feel like a lot of the time if I see something in a shop, or like I go to a restaurant and there's something on the menu, I don't know, sometimes I'm like, I could so make that. And like, I'm not saying I can make anything like restaurant quality, but I don't know, there's something, I feel like it's just almost like a hobby where I'm like, that could be fun to try and make that at home one day. There's something so wholesome about like chopping up your little veggies, putting it in the fridge. I feel like a lot of life, this is quite a deep point to correlate to a fucking juice, but I feel like a lot of life feels very fast paced and very rushed and very like, we pick the quickest, most like efficient option for everything. Obviously in some scenarios that, you know, that makes sense to do that. You don't want to do everything in life the longest way possible. But I don't know, sometimes I think it's kind of soothing to do things in a way where you're taking time to do it in like a slower way, you know, like take your time to actually buy in some vegetables and like chop them up and like make it yourself. It feels kind of relaxing. I don't know, it kind of reminds me that I'm not in a rush. Like, I feel like a lot of the time there's like just the sense of like, I feel like I'm always in a rush. I don't know why. It's kind of just like the world we live in, I guess. And I think when I actively do something in a really time consuming way, it reminds me like I do have time. I don't know if this makes any sense, but I've been loving making juices and little ginger shots, just keeping them in the fridge. It's good for you, it's healthy, it saves you money if you regularly buy these things anyway. Okay, moving on. The next one is, I set myself a goal at the top of the year to read a book a month. It was kind of like a New Year's resolution, read a book a month in 2024. My thought with setting this goal, kind of similar to my juice point, they're kind of all similar. I feel like the theme for this year for me is just like slow the fuck down and enjoy your life. But my thought with reading a book a month was that I noticed last year that I kind of deprioritized restful pastimes, because I always had this sense, like I was saying, that like there's something I need to be doing, there's something more important I need to be doing, like I'm kind of, I don't know if it's like wasting time, but I just like kind of couldn't switch off and like do restful things, and I'd be like, that's not a priority. What is a priority is things that like, you know, being productive and doing all this shit. When I kind of wanted to rewire my brain a little bit this year and stop seeing like restful hobbies and pastimes as a waste of time. Like, I'm actually quite against everything being about efficiency and productivity all the time, if you couldn't tell. Hence the goal. Reading is the one that I chose because I've always loved reading. I think reading is one of the best things ever. Like, you can't multitask when you're reading. You can't go on your phone while you're reading. You can't be messaging anyone while you're reading. Like, you're just looking at a paper book and that's it. I think it's so good for us. I've absolutely been loving it. I've already read double the amount of books that I needed to. I think I'm on like my 7th book this year, which technically I should be in July, but I'm in March. And I'm so grateful for reading now. Like, I literally look forward to reading my book all day now. I think it's been really good for me. I used to read a lot of self-help books, and I do love them. But I've been really enjoying just like a good fiction novel this year. I just want like a cute little story, you know? And my mum reads so much. She literally reads like 3 books a week. I'm not even exaggerating. She's glued to her Kindle. And I feel like I'm just slowly turning into my mum every single day that passes. And I'm not mad about it. So yeah, reading fiction novels. Been loving that. The next one is do not disturb on my phone. When I tell you that my phone is on do not disturb more often than it's not, I'm not joking. I feel like I had such a bad habit of being like half in the moment and half on my phone. Whether it was being in like 4 different conversations with 4 different people all at the same time, or maybe I was watching something and I'd get a notification, so then I'd click on that and I'd be on that, and then I'd go back into what I was watching and then something else would go off, and like my mind was just like all over the place. And I don't think I really realized how much it was affecting me. Like, my mind was always kind of elsewhere, even when I was like physically doing something, like driving or going on a walk or something, where I'm like, you know, occupied, like I'm in the moment, busy doing something. My mind wasn't in the moment ever. like I just don't think I realized how, I don't think we're designed, I mean, we're obviously not designed to go from like 100 to 0 like repeatedly throughout the day. And I feel like that's what I was doing, like going on your phone and being so like kind of sucked into that and like overstimulated and talking to a million people, and like then scrolling on Instagram, and then you've got notifications and shit, and then you have to try and be present. And I just don't think I could fucking do it. Maybe some people are better at that than others, but I don't think I realized how much that was affecting my ability to be present. And now it seems fucking obvious, you know, even as I'm saying it, I'm like, obviously. But I don't think I realized that, like, I feel like it was contributing a lot to me feeling kind of always run off my feet. And I don't know, just feeling like even though I'm doing something, it's like my mind is half in something else. And I just always kind of felt like, again, like rushed, like I don't know. I think even if I was like walking 2 minutes down the street to like the shop, I would see it subconsciously as like an opportunity to, you know, pick up my phone and check Instagram, or answer a voice note from my friend, or respond to a reel someone sent me. Or like, I always saw it as like a gap to like check in with things and with people. And as much as there's like nothing really wrong with that, I just think it's too much. Like, I don't know if this is a me problem or if this is like just like I'm a human being and I'm not designed to do that. I don't know. But I just think for me it's too much. I can't go from, oh my god, can that plane shut the fuck up? I can't go from 100 to 0. Like, if I'm on my phone, I kind of need to then readjust to like being back in the real world, and that's fine. But like, I need to actually give myself the time to do that, not be in the real world for 2 minutes and then pick my phone back up. I don't know, I've always been someone for like years, I've never had my notifications on for like any social media or anything. I decided against that when I was like 16. Like, I think I've always been quite like, I don't know, easily overstimulated, and I'm like, if I want to talk to you, I'll open my app rather than like have it just like shoved in my face all the time. Like, I'll open it when I want to, you know? But I think what's embarrassing is I kind of then adjusted to the fact that my notifications are never on. So I check my apps all the fucking time because I don't know if I've got messages because my notifications are off, and it's like, at that point you might as well just fucking turn them on because you're on your phone more now. So now I've kind of taken it a step further and I've been on do not disturb like a lot of the time. Like, I'll turn it off for like an hour a day and be like, fine, I'll like let notifications be there sometimes. But like, it turns out you don't fucking need it on. Like, I don't know that it's natural or healthy to feel like contactable all the fucking time. Like, I quite like that I'm not. I feel like it kind of restores a bit of privacy. I don't know if that's maybe the issue with it, that like I feel like I haven't really had the space to actually like be in like my private life and do my own things. I feel like I've always been like, it just feels too open when it's like, I don't know, I think I say I'm a private person, I'm literally like telling you all my thoughts on a podcast, but I don't know, I think I've realized how important privacy is for me, and to like have a time where like it's just like I'll see my friends when I see them. I probably see half of them at work in the morning, you know, and like I do enjoy being in contact with people, but it doesn't need to be like 35 messages a day, do you know what I mean? Like, I'll literally see you in the morning. Like, I was literally sending a friend the other day a voice note as I was like getting in my car to drive to meet her in like 5 minutes, and I was like, why the fuck am I on my phone? Like, I'm about to see this person. I don't know, I feel like I've just been cutting down my phone time and being a bit more private, I guess. I don't know, maybe that's the theme of the year too. Slowing down and like enjoying privacy a little bit. Like, it's luxury. I think privacy is a luxury, and everyone knowing where you're going and what you're doing all the time sometimes feels a little bit suffocating to me, even with like friends and stuff. I don't know, there's just something, I feel like it feels like a little bit too much when I'm like, oh my god, like I've like messaged 5 different people telling them about my day, and now it just feels a bit much. Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know, tell me if you relate to any of this. I don't know, so I guess this one is like having a boundary with my phone a bit more, and do not disturb. It's a blessing, I recommend it. And I feel like it's kind of broken the habit a little bit of just like aimlessly checking stuff. Like, I just kind of have been doing it a lot less, and it's given me the space to actually like have some thoughts and experiences in my day-to-day life. Okay, next, I've been making a weekly menu. You might think, what the fuck is that? I've basically been laying out my meals at the top of the week, which I think a lot of people do. That's not, you know, groundbreaking to plan out your meals for the week. You know, it obviously saves you time. So on the day, you're not sat around thinking, I don't know what to make and I'm hungry and my brain isn't working, but I don't know what to cook. That is like such a me thing to do. It also obviously saves you money when you plan ahead. And also it kind of like makes you stick to a bit more balance with what you're eating. You know, you can be like, well, I'm eating that on this day, so then that day I'll, you know, have something a bit different. It lets you balance it out, whereas if I didn't plan it, I think I'd have pasta every single night, which I wouldn't be mad about. I fucking love pasta. But I've been making like a little weekly menu where I'm like, why not take something boring and adulty and like romanticize it and make it fun? So I will plan out my meals, and I'll like take it the extra mile where I'll kind of like pair things with things. Like, I'll be like, okay, on Friday I'm gonna have like vegetarian tacos, for example, and I'll be like, okay, Mexican night, maybe I'll also make myself a little margarita cocktail, and I'll make like a side, or like a little starter. I'll make a thing out of it. Obviously, I don't always have the time to do that, but the perk to planning it at the top of your week is you know what you're doing. Like, I know what I'm doing that week because I also plan out my actual week. So then I know which evenings I'm in and free and have the time to spend an hour cooking a new recipe. You know, like maybe then I'll be like, Tuesday, cook this Pinterest recipe that you've had saved for like fucking months, and I'll buy in the shit for it, and then I look forward to it. Like, I'm such like a foodie. I love, I don't know, like simple shit. I love it. Like just being like, tonight we're having Italian night, and I'll buy stuff to maybe like make a pizza, and I'll buy like some nice wine, or maybe I'll make a tiramisu. I don't know. Or I'll buy like some little sparkling waters or something to have as like just a fun little drink while I'm cooking if I don't want alcohol. And I don't know, I think there's something so fun about, like, obviously some nights I don't have the time and I'll see that I'm like working, so I'll plan in like something really basic. I don't know, I just think it's cute. I think why not take the boring shit and make it exciting where you can, you know? And I love, like, I saw someone made like a menu and they paired it all with like wines and they stuck it on their fridge so they felt like they were at a restaurant every time they cooked dinner, because they were like, I need to save money and this is my way of feeling like I'm going out for dinner when I'm not. So they made a physical menu. And honestly, I love shit like that. Like that's honestly something I would do, something I might do. Okay, my next one is I have been having really regular like girly time with my friends, and it has been so nice. You know, whether it's going out for dinner or staying in and having like a wine night and making some pasta, or like playing music in the kitchen and just sitting and talking for like hours, going for cute beach walks and shit. I've just been doing like the most wholesome things with my girlfriends recently, and I'm honestly just so grateful for like the women in my life. Like, I could cry. It's just been so fulfilling. I don't know, to put it simply, being single and spending my evenings with like my best friends, just like laughing and having deep chats, and it's just been like all I need. I think it's easy to take life really fucking seriously, but you cannot do that when you're with your girlfriends. Like, it just makes everything feel like so much lighter, and like you genuinely go home from like seeing your best friend and you're like, life is worth living again. Like, it just makes you feel so good. So I think having like regular cute evenings planned with my friends has been so nice, and like doing shit that's a bit more creative than just going out for like a drink or food, which I love doing that. It's one of my favorite things to do. But I feel like recently it's been spending time with my girlfriends and also doing really cute wholesome shit. That paired together. Okay, the next one is I did a whole episode about morning routines probably like 2 weeks ago, very recently. So I'll like keep this short. But one thing that I've been loving is having like a slow paced morning. I've been getting up a little bit earlier and giving myself that time to like adjust and tend to myself and look after myself a bit. And again, phone is on do not disturb, drinking my fucking juice, like reading my book, like just having a morning where it's like, it's not a wake up and immediately I'm starting my day. Like giving myself even just like half an hour. I think it's been carrying that kind of slowness and mindfulness into the rest of my day, and like just making me feel generally more present. I think the way you start your day makes such a big difference. I know, like, I'm doing maybe a little bit of meditation, or I'm like stretching in the garden, or like fucking having my ginger shot. You know, I've just been taking things at a slower pace, and turns out you can do that. You can go at your own pace, feel present, and still get all the shit done that you need to get done. Like, why is this such a revelation to me? like you can get what you need to get done without feeling like an overstimulated wreck. And this is kind of what I mean by, like, I feel like I felt this rush and this kind of like sense of urgency all the time, like just carried with me throughout my day for no fucking reason. And I think I always thought that was coming from me, and I think it's just fucking world, you know, where it feels like you have to be busy and productive and go, otherwise you're not going to get enough done, when it turns out you can actually go at your own fucking pace. There is nothing telling you that you can't. Like, you set the pace that you want, and I have like this is just such a revelation to me. I don't know. I feel like I have so connected, like slowing down and being mindful with, it's lovely, but like you can't really get shit done. Like it's kind of, you need to be like quite productive at the same time, and like I've struggled finding a balance. And I feel like recently, I don't know, it's like news to me that you can actually just not go that fucking fast all the time. And it doesn't affect my ability to get shit done that I need to get done or that I want to get done. I can do both. You know, I think you have to be a bit strategic about it. But again, I genuinely think this all comes together as like, they're all like strung together, all of these points. Well, like coming off my phone is allowing me to go at my own pace and have that privacy and that space to kind of think about what feels good to me, you know, and then having these slower mornings. And I just think all of it together, I've felt a lot more like balanced out, where like I'm moving towards what I want and I'm getting stuff done, but I'm enjoying the process and I don't feel so run off my feet all the time. I don't know. I think I've just realized that the world makes you feel like you're in a rush all the time, and like there's always like the sense of urgency, and turns out there is nothing urgent like that you need to fucking do half the time, and the rush is like just a facade to like get people to do more shit. Turns out you don't have to actually buy into that. You can just sit down and read your book, like control your own life and the pace that you want it to go at. Because it's also like, this is a bigger point, but even just like the pace of my life when it comes to like my career and like my age, and like I've always felt like, you know, there's always that sense, I feel like in your 20s that like you're behind and you need to, like, everyone else is doing more. And again, I think I've just kind of realized that like, go at your own fucking pace, Brooke. Like, do what you want. I don't know, this has been news to me. It's been feeling great. I don't know, I feel like I'm rambling on about the same thing, but it's just that honestly has been like my main lesson in the last couple months, is like, oh, you're actually in control, and like you can actually do whatever the fuck you want, and like if you want to slow down, you can just do that. Like, you're not actually needed anywhere right now, you know, and you always feel like you're like, but there's something else I need to do, there's somewhere I need to be. Like, not if you don't want there to be. Okay, moving on. This is my last little wellness habit that I've been into this year. In January, I started a running program that basically builds you from a beginner level to someone who can run a 5k. It's like an app that you basically follow this program and you do 3 runs a week, and it gradually builds you up to being able to run more and more. I have been loving that, and I feel like with exercise, I've gone through kind of phases where, you know, I went to the gym at a point and it didn't really stick, or it stuck for like a few months, but then I don't know, I feel like with exercise you have to enjoy what you're doing. There's so many different forms of exercise. Like, you could do dance, you could do gymnastics, you could do football. Like, it doesn't just have to be the gym. Like, I feel like I think I went to the gym just because I was like, I feel like this is like, you know, when you think of exercise, like, what does everyone do? They go to the gym. And like, part of me liked it, but there's a part of me that just doesn't really like the gym culture that I felt in the gyms I went to. And they're also quite expensive, and I don't know, I think for me, running has like kind of just blended into my routine pretty seamlessly because I enjoy it, and it's like, it's in that sweet spot for me where it's challenging but enjoyable. So it's not like it takes, you know, loads of willpower to get me to do it, because it's not like, you know, I hate it, like I'm enjoying it, but it's hard enough that it's like still beneficial. I feel like exercise is like that. Like, you have to find like a sweet spot where you're going to keep doing it and stick to it. And if you make it something that you hate doing, like the gym, some people obviously like the gym, but I think a lot of people probably hate the gym. And I feel like just finding kind of like a fitness routine that works for you can make a routine and a habit that you don't mind having there. You know, I think that's how you make it stick, is like, if you hate it, you're not gonna want to fucking do it. And also, like, there will be a way for you to exercise and keep up with fitness that you like. It's just different for everyone. And I feel like the immediate thought of just a gym, it's like there's so much more to do. And for me, running I've been really enjoying it, and it doesn't cost anything. I can go whenever I want. I don't have to drive anywhere. I don't have to talk to anyone, and I can build it around when I have time, because it doesn't take ages. Like I'll go for like, I think it's like 35 to 40 minutes a run, and I think it's just like slotted into my life really well. Like it just, I don't know, it's just fits straight into my routine, and I have no issue doing it every single time I ever run. I'm not like, oh fuck, like I'm put on my running outfit and just go, and I get to listen to the music that I like, and it's just like, I actually have been really enjoying it. And it is hard, and for me, my fitness routine over the last few months has been 3 runs a week and yoga 1 evening a week. And like, if I want to go more than that, then I will. Like if I have the time and like there's a class I want to go to, or it's a nice day and I fancy another run, like fuck it, do you know what I mean? But having like the 3 runs and the 1 yoga, it's just like been working really well for me. And I think it also helps to know why you're doing it. I think that was my issue with the gym. Not that there's like I don't know why I'm at the gym. I obviously knew I was at the gym, but like I feel like with running, it's more like there's something very therapeutic to me about running. Like it's the same for like everyone, it will be a bit different, but there's something about like if you're stressed or if you're annoyed or if you've had a bad day, going for a run just like clears my head. And I think for me, it's like I want to have the ability to just go on a really long fucking run, and like it's cathartic as fuck, but like I couldn't physically do that even if I wanted to, because you need to build up to be able to, you know, run for that long. So I think for me, I'm like, I just wanted to get my stress out. It's not just that, it's also obviously really good for you, but I don't know, I live in such a pretty part of the world that like there's so many pretty places to go for runs, with like there's so much nature, like all these nice beaches, and there's like these woodland areas and shit, and like I don't know, I just feel like how fun would that be to just go for a run for like 45 minutes and not want to throw up after 5 minutes, do you know what I mean? So I feel like having kind of like a goal of like, why am I doing this, has helped me as well. That kind of keeps me going in the sense it's like a specific thing that I want for myself. It's not just about fitness. Like I said, I think fitness, you have to find a way to do it for you. It will be different for everyone, and it's not maybe the first thing that you think of. Maybe you need to try a few different things, but for me right now, I've been liking running. Who knows, maybe next year I'll be into something completely different. But yeah, anyway, they are a few things that I thought of that I've been really into the last few months that have been making me happy, improving my overall wellness, and I just thought I'd share them. So hopefully that was helpful. Maybe it gave you some ideas, or maybe it was just like something to listen to, you know? Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you next week.